Hi everyone, I'm about to talk to Jessica Rhodes. She has the Instagram account Parking Division, and she and her husband are currently renovating a home from 1795. It's absolutely beautiful, but is in need of a complete gut renovation. So she's going to give us a tour of the house and share some design tips. So keep watching. Jessica, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. So the house, when we had bought it, we bought it in July, and it was in bad shape. All the windows were boarded over. Most of the systems needed to be redone. So what we did was just basically do everything essential, everything to make it livable with contractors.
So this house is from 1795.
It was built in 1795. So the this part of the house, like right here, was from built in 1795, and it was like the bottom half of the house. It was a federal style house. The door was in the center, and then in the 1870s they redesigned it to be an Italianate house. So they made it asymmetrical. They made this longer. They added the bay window, and they added the second and third story in the tower.
So when
most
you
of the house,
Sorry, go ahead.
So most of the house is from the 1870s, but the foundation, like the beams in the basement, and the walls on the outside, the lower half is from 1795.
Wow, look at your foyer.
It is such a beautiful staircase. This foyer, I think, is what got me when I first walked into this house.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, the architecture here is just amazing. So you walk into the foyer, and then this is the living room.
Wow.
And this is the dining room.
And look at that beautiful fireplace.
Yes, so the fireplaces are original to the 1870s, these marble fireplaces. And apparently there used to be more, but they're gorgeous. It obviously needs work. This one is non-functioning, and we think it may have been put in as a non-functioning fireplace, which is interesting.
Because I love what you've done. You've put topiaries in front to give it some greenery.
Yes, to kind of make it look pretty before we restore it. And then this fireplace over here, unfortunately, will also be non-functioning because we had to put heating systems in this house. It had no heating systems because it was used as a summer house by the man who redid it in the 80s. So we had to use that chimney for the heating systems.
So I grew up in a townhouse in Georgetown that was from the early 1800s, and boards creaked, and I don't know, there's something I love about the charm of an old house. What has been the hardest part of trying to navigate restoring a historical home?
I think it's that there are many different opinions about the right way to go about restoring a historic home. Some people think that you should take it all the way back to the original. So I've heard people say that we should tear off the facade that was put on here in the 1870s and bring it back to the colonial era shape, which I think that would be a shame personally. But and then some people think that you should embrace the changes that were made over time and put in like modern bathrooms and kitchens to be honest about what's historical and what's not. And then, there's people in between as well. So just navigating that and seeing what I personally believe is the best way to restore a historic house, that's been the hardest part, I think.
And you have 2 kids, so it's really a family home too. So it has to be functional.
Yes, exactly. So that's why, I've set up these rooms. Most of the furniture is placeholders, but I really tried to make it comfortable and functional for us before we renovate it, because we're just taking it pretty strictly one room at a time. And that seems to be the best way to keep it, comfortable for our family while we're renovating this whole house.
So do you have a favorite part of the house that you're working on now, or something you've discovered about the house that you are really loving at the moment?
So I love the dining room, even though it's unrenovated. I have like so many plans for this room, and I love making tablescapes. So this room is probably my favorite room, but the room,
oh my God, look at that seating area.
Yeah, the bay window, this area is just my favorite. I drink my coffee there every morning.
Is that paint? Look at that green. Is that been there forever?
That is the old paint. It was under layers and layers of paint, which is so interesting because I have visions of using a mural in this room and having a similar green to that on the woodwork. So I was super excited to find that. This all has to be stripped.
It's really charming. So how long do you think this renovation will take you?
We anticipate that it'll take us probably 10 years to get it fully done.
That is a daunting task, but how do you do it? You sort of set benchmarks and goals for yourself and just make sure that you're hitting those so that you just accomplish little by little?
Yeah, we try to do that. But we're also trying to not like put too much pressure on ourselves because with such a long-term renovation that you can't keep that up for that long with that much pressure, you know? So yeah, we're just taking it room by room. That's our goal.
Well, you have incredible interior design, style, and sense. How would you describe it?
I really love the contrast between modern and antique. That's, I think, like the pillar of my style. I love, you know, putting like a modern ghost chair with like an antique, really ornate table. I just think it looks beautiful. And obviously this house is perfect for that style.
So I've watched a bunch of your Instagram stories where you come back from like secondhand shops or vintage shops with like loot, and you have gotten things for like $2. Do you have a few things you can show us that you found recently?
Yeah, so my favorite thing that I've ever found is these chinoiserie étagères.
Wow.
So I had actually found one. I found them both for sale, and I went to buy two, and I couldn't fit them both in my car, and I was crushed, and I was going to come back for the second one, but then it was sold. And so I just had the one. And then a few months later, I just happened to see the second one come up on Facebook Marketplace, and I went and I was able to get it. So I have the two now to flank the fireplace.
Wait, Jessica, can you get closer to that one on the left with all the china in it?
Oh, sure, yes.
Okay, so do you look for china at estate sales?
I do. I love estate sales for china because, you know, you're looking at somebody's best sets that they had, and you can find really great stuff.
And how do you feel about mismatching versus like all one pattern?
I really like to mix different sets of china. I like to, like, you know, take the plates from one set and the bowls from another set.
Yeah.
Different silverware and different cups. I think it looks really fun that way. And it's fun to do. It's fun to mix and match and find something new.
So I wanted to show you something because I'm so proud of something I found. This is years ago, but I recently rediscovered it. I found at an estate sale 500 pieces of Camper china, this old French stuff, and I just pulled it out of a box where it had been sitting for 5 years. And I probably found this when I was like 24 years old and didn't know what it was. And my mother said, you have to get this. You have no idea what this is. And I finally have an appreciation for it. But I found it at this estate sale, or no, it was an auction house in Washington, D.C. It was called Weschler's. And I don't know, there's something so satisfying about coming across this hidden treasure sort of that's priced way under what it should be, and you feel like you've gotten such a steal. I don't know if you feel the same way about kind of antiquing.
Oh yes, that thrill is what keeps you going back, because you're like, what will I find this time? What kind of deal will I get this time?
I feel like you have to find a little treasure to keep you going. Otherwise, it's sort of like, why am I still here after 2 hours of digging through bins?
Takes time. Mm-hmm. Yes.
What do you typically kind of look for when you are antiquing?
I love anything with kind of a chinoiserie theme. I look for, I don't know. I just look for things that I'm drawn to. You know, when you see something and you're just like, I have to have that thing. So, or sometimes I'll have a list. I'll be like, oh, I need a small chest to go here. So I'll be looking for that. Or I'll be looking for, you know, soup tureens because I need one for a table setting I'm doing. But usually I'm just going in and hoping I'll find something that I can't live without.
So this is the third house you've renovated. when you got into this, did you just read books and figure it out, or do you have a background in this? I mean, how do you know what to do?
So my father is very handy. We have a lot of handy people in my family and my husband's family. So we were always able to just go to people and ask questions. But us personally, we hadn't done it before. So everything that we have learned has been learned since we've owned houses, which is crazy to think of because we didn't even own like hammers or screwdrivers back when we first started.
Wow.
Yeah. So we just learned as we went along and just asked people if we didn't know. The thing that I've realized the most is like people that you know are such invaluable resources. If you just ask somebody that you know, they'll pass you on to someone else, and eventually you'll figure out how to do something. And nothing is as hard as you think it is initially. You just have to do it once, and then that'll be in your wheelhouse forever. So those are good lessons that we've learned.
What project are you tackling like this week? Something in the house or outside of the house, or what do you have on the schedule?
So I'll bring you up and show you the bathroom.
Oh, great. I can't wait to go up this staircase. I feel like you need to walk down this in a ball gown.
Yes. I feel kind of funny when I'm like wearing my pajamas on this grand staircase.
Oh my gosh, and look at these bookshelves.
I know these are original to the 1870s. This whole hallway here, these are the original plaster moldings. The rest of the moldings in the house were put in the 80s renovation, but so I treasure this hallway because it's all original.
It's gorgeous.
So the bathroom is almost finished. So basically I'm just working on little projects in here. We have like paint touch-ups to do. I need to find a vintage sconce to go right there. Oh, it's not focusing. There we go. And yeah, just little projects in here. We have to put art up.
I love how regal your mirror is.
Oh, it's very regal. I'm not positive that I'm going to keep it. I'm still in the stage where I'm like switching things in and out. I don't know. Part of me thinks
I love
it's like
it.
too much.
It's fabulous.
Thank you.
And then you can do storage below in the vanity.
Sorry?
You can do storage below in the vanity area.
Yes. There's storage there. And then I have this big piece that I got at an estate sale.
This bathroom is like bigger than my first New York City apartment.
It's a huge bathroom. It's so nice though with two little kids running around to have a big bathroom though. We can all fit in here together.
Go back to that chest. How have you styled that on top with those busts?
So it's not totally styled yet. It's kind of just things thrown up there that I'm going to use for styling it, but it's so fun to have.
So you have jars and you have a lamp. I just feel like this is like fit for a bedroom. It's almost too good for a bathroom. It's so beautiful.
I know, it's really fun to have a space like this in a bathroom to style, but yeah, I'm going to be tweaking this in the next week or so I'll probably post a picture.
And then the floors, I remember seeing that on Instagram stories. That was a big project.
Yes, this was done by our contractor, and he did a great job. So these are just tiles we found at Lowe's. I actually got the idea from the makery, so I have to give her credit because she used these floors in her kitchen. But yeah, I love these floors. I think it's just a classic pattern and kind of goes with the house but looks modern at the same time.
I totally agree with you. Your home has a name. Tell me what that name is.
Oh, it's Daniscara Place. It's cool to have a home with a name.
Did you give it that name or was it already named that?
It was already named that, yeah. It says that we have a little, what are they called? The blue and gold markers in New York that tell, places of interest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have one of those out front that says Daniscara Place, which is kind of cool.
Well, when you can finally host a dinner party or some kind of party where you can have more than, 3 people around, people will be coming to your house for some gorgeous dinner party and they'll say, oh, we're going to Daniscara Place.
So house. Fancy. I'll show off the library because that is probably my other favorite room. It still needs a lot of work, but, it was, what kid doesn't dream of like having a big library? I don't know, maybe just me. I was like a nerd.
And those built-ins were all there.
These were all here, and these were also from the 1870s.
Well, I feel like this house is so lucky to have found you and your
Oh,
husband and your
thank
two boys as the new homeowners of this house, because I can't wait in 10 years to see the finished product.
Stay tuned for 10 years.